That's a great introduction, because if I can be categorized as anything, it's I love women more than anything in this world. And I always have. I based my whole life on it. I was in Norway, I think, we were trying to talk last night to the people I knew from before, maybe 2-3 years ago, and I can't remember exactly. And I was trying to remember what I did here. I was traveling a lot, and I was reminded that I did a seminar for women, and I did a seminar for men, a small one for men as well. And what is interesting to me, and I'm thinking about what should I talk about tonight with you guys. And I remember a guy asking me then, 2 or 3 years ago, my biggest problem, he said, is that I don't know how to, I don't approach women because I don't know what to say, or I'm afraid I'm going to run out of things to say, or I'm just not interesting enough. And so he said, what do you do about this whole thing of approach anxiety? And I'm thinking, and I thought it then, I'm thinking it now. I'm thinking, I'm this Canadian guy in the land of the North, now, with you guys, speaking to you, you Norsemen, about women, a trivial little thing like that. It blows my mind. Approach anxiety. Is this not the land of the Vikings and the explorers of the wastelands? Is this not the heritage that's in this land? And I'm here to speak to you? It shocks me. I'm from Canada. So it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. We have in the Northern Hemisphere, women are starving for real men. The whole North. In the South, the guys are grabby and aggressive. There's no balance. There's nothing between. Our generation is completely apologetic as men. We apologize to women. We go up to a girl and she's in a coffee shop, and we say, well, it's nice talking to you in the line at Starbucks. And we say, it's nice talking to you. Would you like to get together sometime? And she's, oh, it's so sweet of you, but I have a boyfriend. And what do we do? What do us men do? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought maybe we could just hang out some. In other words, we start apologizing because she has a boyfriend. This is the problem. There's no strength in men anymore. Where's the fierceness of the North? Where is it? What happened?
Christianity.
No comment. I'll tell you this. I'm from Canada, and I'll tell you a little bit about my story, because my story is your story. People say, okay, you're this guy, and you travel the world, and women love you. And yeah, well, let me tell you a little bit about me. I was born in the North, and we were very poor. We never had any money. And I was raised in the far North with no electricity, running water, in a cabin. I lived in a teepee in the summertime. I had moccasins on my feet. I wore a leather hat that I made. I had a knife on my side as a child all those years. So some of you probably have the same story from the North. I was on snowshoes. I did the whole thing. And I remember, without any electricity or running water, I remember the first time ever that I kind of started to emerge from that kind of environment. I grew up like eating plants in the wild, catching fish with my hands, the whole thing. I'm very good at wilderness survival. I know how to survive. You would never know it because I'm such a city guy today. But I grew up in that environment until I was 19, around that age. And then I started to come out into the land of civilization, and I was completely devoid of any kind of knowledge of any kind. I had no social understanding at all. Because I was poor growing up, because I was alone in the forest growing up, I didn't think that I had, and because I had no education, I came out thinking, who would want to talk to me? Who would want to be interested in me? And I loved girls. I absolutely loved girls. And my story is an embarrassing one, because if you think that you had some moments in your life when you messed it up with a girl, you said something wrong, believe me, I was like the most insecure, what's the terminology, AFC? I was massively so, and I'm not kidding. And I could tell you stories like for the rest of the evening about how ridiculous, how I used to get down on my knees and cry because the girl was going to break up with me. How I used to, who'd been with me for like 2 days, breaking up with me, you know. I was the nice guy. I was the proverbial nice guy. I did all that stuff. Women would want to date me. They would say, sure, I'll go on a date with you on Thursday night. And then it goes so well, and I bring a flower, and I do all these kind of wonderful things. And then you call her, you know, to see her again on Saturday. She says, yeah, give me a call. I'd like to see you. I had fun. And then it kind of drifts away. The terminology out there is that the women are flaking. You've heard this, am I right? I'll tell you this. Here's the thing about, I'm going to say this quickly. The reason that there's so many nice guys, and the reason that it perpetuates or it keeps going and going and going, is because it works. It's because it works. Being a nice guy works. You meet a woman, you meet a girl, and you say, well, you know, I'd like to, maybe we can hang out sometime. And she looks at you, she says, he's kind of cute, I like him, he's nice. So yeah, I would like to do this. This is why women will say, yes, I'll go on a date with you. You show up, you open the door for her, you'd being this kind guy, you'd being the wonderful, nice guy. And she responds, she's laughing, you're having a great date. You say, I'm really enjoying it. I can see she is too. I feel she's really honest and really enjoying it. You call her again, and she says, yes, I'd like to see you again. So you go on another date, and because you were so kind and generous and chivalry, and opening the door, and doing all this kind of stuff, you do it even more. You shower her with more attention, more affection, more, I'm going to put a note on her windshield just to surprise her. You do all those kinds of things. And that's great, except that it's more and more and more of the same, and we're not giving women what they want, which is us being masculine, which I'll talk about in a second. And what happens is she loses interest. And she was interested in the beginning. We think women are playing with our emotions and just being flaky, that to do it on purpose is not true. She loses interest. But it works so well in the first date or two that we think, I have to be more like that. The next girl, it really works. And so it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. I came out of like I said, I came out of the forest into life, and my only abiding interest in my entire life, I mean, I've done lots of things, but my only real love is women. Everything I've ever done is because I love women. How many here love women? Raise your hand. Really love women. Look around at you guys. If you love women, here's my next question. If you love women the way you just said you do right now, your back arched, your smile comes across your face, you're like, I'm that guy, I love women. If you love women as much as you say you do, why does the world never see this of you? Why do women never see that part of you? Why? No, because we're trying to be cool. Because a pretty girl comes along, we're like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. We're trying to be cool because we don't think that we're good enough. We take all these kinds of seminars, that's right. We read self-help books. There's a multi-billion-dollar self-help industry out there, devoted to try and help us to solve our problems with our childhood and our past, so that we can finally feel great. And I'm telling you, we're missing something. None of that is going to do any good for you. None of it's going to do any good for you. We're missing, I said it here earlier, this is my puzzlement. Where is the fierceness we used to have? Why do women never feel? Why are we so top-heavy that when we talk to women, she says, well, I have a boyfriend, we flinch. I'm sorry. We flinch. Where's the strength of men? Where is it? I've been doing this for 10 years, and it ceases to amaze me when I look around at the group of men, that the men who are coming here, and what do I see? Women say to me all the time, well, what kind of guys go to your seminar? That's a big question I get all the time. What kind of guys? I say, you know what? Look around the street. There's the kind of guys. Right here, the guys walking by right now. They're normal guys. They're interesting guys. They're sincere guys. And I see it. I'm completely convinced you do not need anything. In fact, you need to strip away all the layers of learning and try and understand that you're trying to do. You need to strip it away. Simplicity. To go back to what we used to believe, the things we used to believe as children, as little boys. If you were all 4 years old right now, and I was the teacher, and I said, okay, little boys and girls, who here can sing? You're 4 years old, what would you do? Me, I'm the best singer in the world. Who can draw? Who can draw? Get out your papers. Who can draw? Me. I'm the best. Right? You used to believe it. But then one day you looked over at another kid's drawing, and you saw yours, and you looked at that, and you thought, maybe I'm not that great. Something shifted. And you've been looking at that drawing ever since. Maybe I'm not that great. Maybe I just don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. Here's the thing, guys. I think that men fundamentally want the same thing we wanted when we were little boys. Same thing. It's all we want, the same thing. And that is this. We want to know we have what it takes. That's what we want. To enter into a room and we know that we can represent ourselves. That's all we want. Women think guys are, paying for seminars because they want to get laid. Wrong. Guys think that's why they're doing it too. They think, well, I want to learn how to get laid. No, it's not. You can take that money and go buy sex. Guys will pay $2,000 for a weekend seminar. They could buy a lot of sex with $2,000. Maybe not in Norway. It's expensive here, but. So that isn't what we want. And reporters will ask me this too. Well, guys just. I remember I was on a Texas radio show, morning show. A man and a woman is like really popular. Like had 1 million listeners or something all over the Southwest, and they were interviewing me, and the guy's going, so you're here in Texas, you're doing seminars. Yeah, I'm doing a seminar. We're teaching men about how to be authentic. I talk about beauty. And he goes, oh, come on, you're just really teaching guys how to get laid. I said, well, that's one, you can assume whatever you want, my friend. And, but this is what we're doing, is we're talking about how to be a dynamic, interesting man. And if you want to get laid, that's great. If you want to get a wife, that's great too. It doesn't matter. We're talking about something fundamental. Our authentic self is our attractive self. And he kept going, oh, come on, you're just really just teaching, come on, you're just going to get the guys laid this weekend. And I shut up. I'm on live radio, and I looked at him, and I'm looking at the girl, and I looked at him, and I had nothing more to say to him. Nothing. What am I going to say to you, my friend? I just shut up. I didn't say anything. And she started to attack him. This is his radio show partner. She's like, you know what? You need to take a seminar. When's the last time you had a girlfriend? He's like this. And she was going to town on him. And I remember as we were driving away from the radio station, after we were still listening to the radio, and she's still going at him. It's, guys, here's the interesting thing to me. Men are always suspicious about the things I say, and women always say, that's it. Always. Always. And guys go, I don't think it's that easy. Okay, carry on. You're doing well. A guy in Germany stood up. I gave a talk, and he said, he stood up and said, well, I don't think it's that simple. I think it's not as simple as you're making it sound. And I said, how old are you? And he said, I'm 32. And I said, well, tell me about your last girlfriend. Well, I've never had a girlfriend. I said, carry on. Well, I didn't say that, but I was thinking it. You're doing well. You don't have to listen. You don't have to agree with me. You do not have to. But what I've seen, guys, and I've talked to a lot of guys. 10 years ago, am I still rattling? I'm good. 10 years of traveling, doing seminars, talking, all kinds of things, and it's interesting because I'm not a pickup artist. I don't teach how to pick up girls. Never have. The only thing I am is I'm very much like Johnny. I would say I'm a philosopher. If anything, I'm a philosopher. I can tell you the philosophy of women like you cannot imagine. I know more about women than anybody I know. I can tell women things about women that they don't know. This is for sure. And it's because I've done only one thing since I was 20 years old, and that is sit at the feet of women and ask them questions and listen and listen and listen. I am the greatest student of women that has been born. I love listening to women. I was telling the guys downstairs, if a woman is angry at men, or been hurt by men, or abandoned by men, or she's a CEO of a company and used to men, being intimidated by her, or she's a strong feminist and thinks that it's unfair, any of this kind of thing, and the women that have this kind of energy, no problem. I'm in my element. Let me sit and talk to her. No problem. I'm 100%, I can feel it. I know exactly what to say to her. Yes, it's true. I'm great. I'm not a guy that goes into the bar and picks up girls. Yeah, dance, lambada. Pickup artists are great at picking up phone numbers. They're good at getting phone numbers. But where does it go? I remember back years ago, before anybody was really becoming, the big names in this seduction community were becoming famous. They said, we need to have a seminar by you about how to maintain it. We can go get phone numbers. We get phone numbers constantly. And we've been taught to measure our result, we call it result, by what we receive from the woman. In other words, if I'm standing over here and I see a girl over there, or two girls over there, and my buddies say, go talk to her, come on. So I'm in my mind thinking I have to go and get a result, which means I have to get a phone number. Or I have to get her to smile at me, or I have to get her in my bed, I have to get something. And so I go over there with a hidden agenda, which is to angle the conversation to her phone number. And so I go and I start talking to her. It doesn't matter what she's saying to me, because I'm not listening, because I'm really just trying to get her number. I'm really trying to find out a way to angle the conversation so I can get her phone number. And when we get the phone number, I got a result. You should ask some of the girls that you know in your life, because I know that women have told me this a lot. Sometimes women will give out phone numbers to men because they don't want to be seen as the girl that rejects men. They don't really want them to call, but they don't want to be bad. We get this phone number and we say, there's our result. That's it, I got something good. And what does it do? We have to fight to make this materialize into anything. We call her, she might remember us, she might not. We wait the proverbial 3 days before we call. We play the whole game, this whole game that we're taught in all of society. We get this phone number, and what do? She gives us the phone number on a piece of paper, and we say, or in our phone, and we go, okay, I'll give you a call sometime. And we walk away being cool. We walk back to our buddies, and really we're just like inside, we're going, yes, I got a result. I got a phone number from this girl. I really like her, but yeah, I got it, guys. And we go home that night. What do? We take the number out. We put it on our nightstand like this beside our bed. And what do we want to do as men? She was pretty, and we liked her. We want to call her. We can't wait to call her. But we can't do that. We have to wait. The next morning, we wake up, there's a phone number. Yes, I remember the girl last night. Incredible. I have this phone number. What do we want to do? I want to call her because I like her. We can't do that. We have to wait. We wait the proverbial 3 days. Now it won't look so needy. And then we're going to call her, and okay, what am I going to say? We rehearse what we're going to say if she answers the phone, and we rehearse something slightly different if she gets her machine. And then we try and put a smile on her voice, and we call, and we try and say this. We try and be upbeat and try and call. And she looks at the number calling and says, who's this? Oh, I gave my number out last Saturday night. Must be that guy. And subconsciously what's going on in her mind is this. He waited 3 days. He's playing the game. I know my role. And it starts out like that. You guys all sat here and said, you love women, right? Did I hear that? Did I see that on your face? Yeah. Why do not all the women that come into your area and come into the contact with you see this? Delight. Why do you not delight in women? That's all you have to do. Wow, look at you too. You look radiant in your dress. I just complimented her. You look fantastic. And look at you. Your friend, incredible. Okay? That's a high compliment. You can't do that. Compliments, here's the thing about compliments. Compliments are not, compliments are the same thing as like trying to get this hidden agenda of getting her phone number. A compliment to a girl, you look so pretty, or you have a nice dress, or any of those things we try and do are only to try and get a result from her, something in return. In other words, I hope that if I say this compliment about her dress, or her eyes are so pretty, she will like me more than the other guys around. She'll feel I'm sincere and like me. So we compliment a girl. And we find out that that does not work at all, because you're putting her on a pedestal, you're like, kissing her ass type thing. So it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because compliments have nothing to do with her at all. A compliment that you give to a woman is all about us, in general. In other words, I hope that if I say something nice to you, I hope I receive something back from you. Imagine, though, you can say to these two women over here, you look great, and you look fantastic, wonderful, red lipstick, thank you, girls. Not because you want anything in return, but because you are a man, and you like nice things, and you're not afraid to say it. Women can tell the difference immediately between a guy who's trying to get, I hope you like me if I say this, and a guy says, I'm a man and I like women, and you are perfect examples of women. Thank you for being feminine. I love it. Women can tell the difference. It's your intention. I always say it like this. We're trying to get that result of a phone number. If you change the way you measure success, pull it back closer to here. Pull it back closer to here. In other words, if I saw this girl over here, and I said, there's something about her that draws my heart, I really would like to talk to her. And I go and talk to her. And I say whatever it is, doesn't matter. If I say, hi, my name is Zan, and what's your name? It does not matter at that point what she does. She could turn away from you. And you've seen this, guys. I know women look at you go like, we're talking here. She can smile at you. She can ignore you. She can give you a phone number. She can come home and have sex with you that night. It does not matter. Your only measurement of success is, did you show up as a man and say, what's your name? That's it. If you did, it doesn't matter what she does. You are a man. It doesn't matter. Pull back your measurement of success. Did I show up? Yes, I did. Woody Allen said, 90% of success is just showing up. This is what we're not doing. Norsemen, we're not showing up. We stand there with our beers like this, and we watch this never-ending stream of girls go by, and we wish, I wish I had a girlfriend. No, you don't. If you wanted a girlfriend, you would fight for it. You would go get it. It's easier to wear your blanket of comfort to keep you, it's damp, and it keeps you down, and it's Friday night, I'll go out with beers with the guys, and it's easier. Everything you want is outside of your comfort zone. Otherwise, you'd already have it. We want it easy. We want an easy answer. We want to take read another book. And I'll tell you this. This is what I see as I travel. There's an urgency in the air, gentlemen. You can feel it everywhere, in every country I go to. Women are saying, where are the real men? Who are not apologizing for being men. Where? Well, we're taking, we're reading self-help books. That's where we are. My job is not to make you comfortable. And I'll tell you the truth. There's only one thing you can do that's going to change anything in your life. And not all of you will understand, or not all of you will listen to what I'm about to say. And that is this. If you really want change in your life, if you really want fundamental change, you have to change everything. Every great life has had in it a great renunciation. A great renunciation. You have to renounce what isn't working. You have to renounce the things and people you're with. You have to renounce it. Well, I can't because, there you go. There's no longer time for small little changes to read another book and get another answer, get another affirmation to tape onto your mirror, gentlemen. Those times are gone. It's time to stand on the earth with all the strength that you have. I look around the room and I see it now, and if it sounds like I'm saying something strong, it's because I see it in you. Everybody here, you men, are already creative, resourceful, and whole today. You don't need anything more. You just have to show up in your nervousness, and you don't know what to say, but you're there. At least you show up. You know what? I don't know what to say. I'm a little nervous, but I had to come talk to you. That's a wonderful thing to say to women. I'm a little nervous, but I wanted to come say hi. How many times have women told me that's so endearing? Thank you, because I'm nervous too. We look at it, we go to a party and we see a group of guys and they're all GQ and they're cool and they look good and they're tall, good-looking guys. And they're standing with a bunch of girls and they're talking to the girls. And the girls are all pretty and they're all like, ha-ha, going like this with their hair. And we look at that group of people talking, we think, why can't I be like them? They look so natural, so confident, so alive. Why can't I be like them? And you know what's really going on over there in that group of people? Everybody's in their heads going, why did I say that? What an idiot. And the girls are going, oh, I'm not fresh today. I hope he doesn't come too close. Oh, I shouldn't wear this dress. Everybody is doing what you are doing, which is like second-guessing yourself. Everybody is. I remember reading an article, an interview with Eric Clapton, who we would all say is this, you know, a great guitar god out there, like playing the guitar for 40 years. And everybody like respects him and all the guitarists respect him. He said, you know, every time I'm about to go on stage, I get the same feeling just before I go out there. I get a little twinge right here, a little bit of nervousness for 40 years. And you know what he said, the thought that comes into my mind when I first get up there and start to play is, how can they not see that I'm faking the whole thing? Same thing that you're thinking about your job. How many times have you had to run a meeting? Oh, I'm faking, I don't know what I'm doing. Everybody thinks it. Your boss is thinking it. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. How can they not see it? It's so obvious. We all have that. We think it's just us. We have the worst image of ourselves of anybody on earth. As you walk into the room, as you come sit down, sit at your table, and other people are looking at you, if you could see the way that they are looking at you when you come and walk in and sit down, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. You think, wow, it's not so bad. Because they see you in that way, the same way I'm seeing you. I don't do any self-help. I don't do any hand-holding. I don't do any babysitting. I don't do any of that stuff. There's no more time for that. I do workshops for men. I do seminars. I do talks. And the only thing I do is a call to action. That's it. Men are needed. Leaders are needed. It's time, gentlemen, to lead. How? By making the choice. How are you going to do it? You don't know. That's okay. Don't try and figure out how. Just make that decision that from now on, from this point on earth, I'm going to stand on the earth as a man. Every one of you had a father, has a father, had a father, who had a father, who had a father. I'm taking this off. Hot. Every one of you men that I see in front of me today had a father who 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 had a father. We know this to be true. It has to be true. Father, son, a direct bloodline, direct DNA in your body, gentlemen, of fathers that came before you on this earth. You could go back 1,000 years and every man here had a father who was standing on this earth 1,000 years ago, boom, somewhere, maybe in China. We don't know, but you for sure had a father on this earth 1,000 years ago. And in the last 1,000 years, imagine this, you guys are from the land of the Vikings. This is even stronger for me to say it to you. One of your fathers for sure, you and you and you, stood on the earth with a sword in his hand, a sword. On a battlefield. For sure. Your ancestor, yes, that's true. Your blood, your DNA. He might have killed somebody, or he might have been killed, but he created a son first. Who created a son? Who created a son? Who created a son? All the way down to you in this room in Norway. Imagine that. There were men that were standing beside him 1,000 years ago who have no living sons today. The implication of that is, through all the wars and pestilence and disease and famine and migration and persecution that happened in the last 1,000 years, your bloodline survived. You have the blood of champions. That's the strength you have. You have the force of the whole world beneath your feet. That's what I see in front of me. You had that father who stood on a battlefield with a sword in his hand. Fierce. And we're afraid to talk to this girl drinking coffee. I'll tell you this. If you were to go to this girl and say, I am nervous, I don't know idea what, I'm going to run out of things to say, but I would like, I'm here. I'm just showing up. I'm just showing up. I'm here in the land of women. I'm talking to you. If you do that, does not matter what, like I said, what her response is. You're not responsible for her response. You did your job as a man. You can congratulate yourself and say, I'm a man. I did a job as a man. You can go up to a girl and say, I'm really nervous, but I wanted to come say hi to you. That's as much a masculine thing as your father with a sword on a battlefield. It's just as much of a manly thing to do. You win. You did your job as a man. It's up to women to respond or not. We're waiting for women to be nice to us once. I always quit being so bitchy to us. It's time. I cannot say it strong enough. There's an urgency in the air. Leaders are needed. It's time to never, ever follow again. Lead. I was in Montreal, and I had a Ukrainian girlfriend there who was born in Ukraine, raised in the streets of Argentina, Buenos Aires. So she was raised dancing street tango. And she took me to a tango in Montreal. And I'd never danced tango before, but I could not take my eyes away from the scene. I watched it for hours with my mouth hanging open, because everything between a man and a woman, good, bad, everything is contained in the tango. And I saw it. I saw everything that I've been speaking about for years right there in front of my eyes. It's men inviting, not commanding, not controlling, not grabbing, not whatever. Inviting, invitation accepted or not, it doesn't matter. And then the men lead, hands high, and the women have their eyes closed, following, feeling the heartbeat of the man. And he gently leads and guides. There's no, if you want to learn anything about the way a man should experience women, guys, go take the tango. Go study tango. You'll see everything. Everything's there. It's life. It's right there. It's all there. It's the way a man should experience a woman. It is the leadership that we're missing. Women are dating boys. I'm talking to myself here too, guys. I'm talking to myself when I say this. I was raised, like I said, all of us were raised, we're playing with our toys, PlayStation, and we're still doing it now. The difference is we're not having fun anymore. We used to have fun. Women are dating boys. We've lost the spirit of men. Imagine, I see it visually like this. We have a center of gravity here as men. A center of gravity. And there's an energy that flows out into the world from us. You think you don't have an impact? You think I'm just going to go to this party, I'll just sit in the back. And you always have an impact on every room you enter. Always. You always have an impact. So you get to choose. You should choose, what kind of impact you want to have. You have an energy field that flows into the world. And imagine this. From your center of gravity, you have an energy that flows up and out to the world. An upward, outward flowing energy like this. This is you being charming, being funny, being the life of the party, respectful, opening the door. All of these things like respect and charm and empathy and listening and curiosity, all these wonderful things, storytelling, telling jokes, is all a wonderful upward flowing energy. That's how I imagine it anyway. Imagine if you're, for instance, on a job interview, you're sitting up straight, and everything about you is high energy. You're looking at the guy across from you, and even your eye contact, if it makes sense, is high. It's a high energy. Yes, okay, yeah, and I did this. It's a high energy. You know what I mean? Okay? Here's the thing. From the same center of gravity, men have an energy that flows down and out. Down and out. An equal force and equally necessary. This is your mystique, your masculine edge, your sexual nature, your strength, your danger, your fierceness. And this is what we're missing. That's what we're missing in the North, for sure. If you have only the top, which is us, You're top heavy, you apologize. I thought maybe we could just hang out. We say this phrase, I don't know, in North America, men say to women, would you like to hang out sometime? What does that mean? That phrase should die. Hang out? Women say, I thought it was a date, but I'm not sure. He said, you want to hang out? Sometime. We don't own it. We have this upward flowing energy, and everything you're taught out there, from the community too, I would say, everything you're taught out there from mothers, from teachers, from society, from Dr. Phil, from Oprah, is how to maximize this respect and charm and be funny and tell stories and be the life of the party. Well, then guess what, guys? That you are that guy, and women will want to be around you because you're entertaining. But they never get the sense ever that I'm also a man and you're a woman and I like it, and come near me and guess what will happen? Why do women never feel that from us? Because we've been taught that we don't want to offend women, that men are one step away from being a rapist. And it's a wrong thing. We've lost the beauty of our masculine edge. We've lost something really strong. Women are starving for it. If you're only this lower energy, then you're the creep. You're grabbing girls, it's like, it's too much. But if it's balanced, with respect, empathy, charm, listening, there's a man. There's a real man there. And women will see it from across the room. He's not tall, he's not that tall, he's not that good looking, but there's something about him. We've been suppressing our sexual nature all of our lives, and it's time to stop. It should be the first thing that comes into the room when you walk in. Doesn't mean you're going to have sex with all the girls. Doesn't mean you're going to leech onto them, hey baby. I don't mean that at all. But it means that I'm a man, and you're women, and it's a good thing. I'm proud of it. You have the right, gentlemen. When you see a girl over here that catches your eye, draws your heart, and you don't go and say, you know what, I'm a little nervous, but I had to come say hi, what's your name? When you don't do that, you let her down. You fail women. And guess who else you let down? Your fathers. You let those guys down too. We fought and through all of these centuries so you could have life, and you're going to do that? You think your father would be afraid to go up to say to a girl, what's your name? What's your name? It's time. I'm telling you. There's a buzz in the air. I can feel it. Every city I go to, I've been all over this world, and I can feel it. I talk to women's groups. I lecture at universities, and I can feel it. Something's about to change. We're all tired of the games and the manipulation. We're tired. I'm going to go back to what I asked you guys earlier. Who here loves women? Imagine this. That should be the first thing out of your mouth. If you guys want to have fun this week, every question that a girl asks you, answer it this way: because I love women, that's why. Oh, why are you visiting Norway? Why am I visiting Norway? Because I love women. What's your name? Because I love women. It's like, I've never lost my delight of women. I'm always delighted when a woman comes into the room. Even a woman I know very well, she comes into the house, I'm like, sweetie, thank you for being here. I love the energy of women. I draw energy from women. I love it. Because of it, I feel like there's a celebration in it. If a husband wants to know how to be with his wife, man, just start celebrating her. Celebrate her celebrate your women. If a girl goes to bed with me, I'm celebrating her. Hello, baby. If I wake up in the morning and she's there, you, my dear, are incredibly magnificent. And I celebrate her just the same. My energy doesn't change. Same. Celebration. You love women? Then start expressing it to the world. A man who loves women is loved by women. That's how it goes. A man who loves women and proclaims it to the world is loved by women. That's the way it goes. It's a law of nature. You cannot get away from it. Every man who's been, and you know men, who are good with women. What does he have? He loves women. That's what. He loves women. He's not afraid to show it. I love women. What's your name? Look at you and look at your friend. Come on, girls. This is why I love women. Look at you. It's because it's a rare thing. we're trying to hide that. We're trying to be cool. We lose something in the, you know, if you three guys are at his house and you're going to go out, it's a Saturday night, so you're having a couple of drinks, you're hanging out, and you're waiting for him to come. And you're waiting, you're sitting around, and what do you guys do? You've known each other for years, since you're children maybe, and what are you doing in the house? You're laughing, you're making fun of each other, you're telling jokes, you're telling dirty jokes, you're laughing, having some drinks, being guys, right? Completely in your body. You're not thinking, none of you are thinking, well, should I say that? Will I think it's funny? Better bite my tongue on that one. You're being in your body. He finally arrives, and unexpectedly to you, he has a girl on his arm. He says, guys, this is Melissa. She just moved to Oslo, and she works at my work, and she doesn't know anybody. And she asked if she could come out tonight to meet guys, or to meet some people. And she's smiling, receptive, because she wants to meet people. And what do? We three guys, who were before like, yeah, jumping on the couch and like joking, telling dirty jokes like that, we go, hey, hi, Melissa. Nice to meet you. So guys, where are we going to go out tonight? We start rocking around with our imaginary laps like this. You know? Here's what's incredible about it. We have a pretty girl that comes into our midst, and now we put on our cool mask. Now I got to be cool, because there's a girl here. I don't want to look needy, so now I have to change my persona. We hide the real self with our mask. And the amazing thing is, the thing that she would be attracted to the most of you three guys, you just suppressed. It's you telling jokes, jumping on the couch, being that. We think we have to be this better version of ourselves, and so we invent something. Like I said earlier, you have to strip it away, guys. You have to strip it all away. It's time. I went to Nicaragua a year and a half ago. I'm writing a book. And I went there to sit in the jungle. And I basically had nothing. For months I lived there. And I had a pair of shorts and a table and a small bed. Lived in the dirt. And I had as much strong relationships with people and fun. No electricity, or barely any of this kind of stuff. Like 7 o'clock, it's like dark. Okay, you sit around, listen to the crickets, and I had just as much of a dynamic and interesting relationships. I had a girlfriend, just as interesting as any other time I've ever been in my life when I had anything else. When I had nothing. We think we have to add these layers on. We got to get this nice apartment with all these cool lights and stuff so the girls like us. You have to buy a fancy car so the girls like us. It's wrong all the way around. It's wrong, 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 wrong. You have to be more of yourself. You think, well, myself sucks. Well, it's because you're thinking this, but nobody else is thinking it. We think we have to be that guy. Simplicity, 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 simplicity. Simplicity in the way of thinking. Ease and delight. I've been traveling for years. I've been homeless for 8 years. I have no possessions of any kind, just some clothes. Whenever I go to a city, I buy a guitar. Leave it behind, give it to somebody when I leave. And not because, and I'm not advocating you guys do that, but I'm saying because I wanted to strip away anything that would be try and impress women. I remember I lived in Vancouver, and I was writing then too. And I moved into a girl's apartment. I had no possessions at the time. I moved into a girl's apartment who was a showgirl in Las Vegas, and so she needed to rent her apartment out while she was doing her thing. So I rented it out for 3 months, and I moved into her apartment, and it was like a complete girly place. It was all her stuff. So like the walls was hot pink, and this is lime green. There was like, the couch was white with a heart-shaped pillow on it. And, feathers everywhere. It was a complete, like, girly showgirl apartment. I moved right in. I didn't change anything. I'm right in there. And I remember where I lived was right across the street from the hottest nightclub in Vancouver. I could see down on the 8th floor, and I could look out my balcony, and I could see the people all lined up to get into these clubs. I was there for 3 months. And I never once went out. I never went to that club. I never went to the pub over there. I never went anywhere. I was writing. I didn't ever go out. And yet I had more women in my life in that time in Vancouver than I had had ever before. In my apartment, visiting me all the time. How is this possible, you say? It's because when I would go into my elevator or go to get the mail or go get a coffee over here at the coffee shop, and I met a girl, I would invite her. People have said to me, like, for years, what is your method? There's all these methods out there in the seduction community. What's your method? I don't have a method. But you know what? If you were to pin me down and say, what is your method? I would say it's invitation. My method is this. I put invitations into the world and I leave them out there. That's all I do. Just put invitations. I don't ask for anything. I don't ask women for anything ever. We ask a girl out, we say, are you busy on Thursday night? Would you like to get together? Or would you like to hang out? Or would you like to get coffee sometime? We ask these questions. You want to change something subtly in your life? This time, very subtle change, sounds exactly the same, but it's magnitudes of leadership that the woman's hearing. Instead of saying, would you like to get together on Thursday night? You say, you know what, Thursday night, you and I should get together. Statement, not question. Would you like to get coffee sometime? You know what, I love talking to you. We should have coffee. Sounds the same. Big difference in a woman's mind. Because now you're being a leader. Now you're inviting. Now you're inviting to dance. Invitation. It was interesting because as you start out in the dating world, you learn to ask girls out for a Thursday night date. And a girl says, yeah, okay, I'll go. I'd like to do something on Thursday night. So now we think, okay, now I got to plan something interesting for Thursday night. In other words, now I have to arrange my evening based on the fact that she said, yes, I would like to do something with you. Now, because she said yes, we arrange our life around that for Thursday night. And we have to come up with something interesting and dynamic and fun as a date. Guys ask all the time, what should I do on a date? Okay? So this is the first element there. And then you learn something from the community or from books or from experience. And you learn that it's better to already be doing something Thursday night and ask her to come. Hey, me and my friends are going to go to this pub, and would you like to come? We learn that gets better results, and it looks like you're more interesting and have a better, an interesting life. You're already doing something. You're not waiting for her to say yes. We find that's better. And I think there's a third level, and I've never heard anybody say it. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this, but I think there's a third level, and that's this. An invitation to her into nothing. Into nothing. And I'll explain that. It's saying, you, my dear, you look fantastic. You should come see me. And when I was in Vancouver, I was writing. I didn't want to leave my apartment. And I literally would, I'd see a girl and I'd say, look at you. You look great. Listen, I live in this apartment right here. You should come visit me tonight. I would like it. I can't do that. I don't know you. I understand. And you're still invited. You're still invited. Well, we should get a coffee or something. I'm writing a book right now. And so I'm like, come on, come and visit me. Bring me some soup. Come over tonight. I would literally say that for no other reason than it was truthful. I didn't want to go anywhere. It's true. It wasn't a technique. I was just like, I didn't want to go anywhere, but I'd love to see you. Come visit me tonight. I would like it. And you know what they would say? The ones that were married or had boyfriends said, I can't because I'm married. But thank you. Thank you. So refreshing to hear. So refreshing to hear. Thank you for desiring me as a woman. Thank you. And I'm full respect. I understand. And of course, I'm doing my job as a man. And look at you in your dress. I understand you're married. I fully respect that. But I'm doing my job as a man. You got to admit. Thank you. It's refreshing. Or sometimes they'd say, well, what are we going to do? Like, I come visit you at your apartment. Like, what are we going to do? And I'd say, well, that's a good question. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I don't even have a TV. I don't know. Come over. Bring me some soup. I literally would say that, and it was truthful. I just wanted her to come see me. I was inviting her into nothing. I didn't have anything cool, interesting that I was doing. I was doing nothing. Come over and see me. I would love it, because look at this. Look at you and me. Of course it makes sense to my mind. It makes sense to me. I would love it. I would love you to come. You know what they would say? Well, my girlfriends and I are going to go out for half an hour, so maybe or later, so maybe I'll drop by for like 20 minutes or something. They would come over because I was asking for it. Because I literally would say, this is what I want. When I'm talking to a woman, the ball is always in her court. Always. Ball is always in her court. She doesn't have to accept. I'm not asking her for anything. I'm saying, I'm inviting. I would love to see you again. You, I would love to see. I'm not asking for a phone number. I'm saying, this is what I want. I'm just stating as a man what I want. You cannot get rejected ever. Because you're just saying what I want, or what you want. This is what I would like to have happen. I would like this from you. I can't do that. I understand, and that's what I would like. I'm just saying it. There's a strength in that. If you hear me, if you hear me talking to you guys in any way, it's this. If you spend any time with me in the future, I never look at like, okay, I'm this guy and your students. Never, never, never. I say, okay, we're in this together, my friend. I see a leader here, and I'm going to hold you accountable to it. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. I'm going to hold you accountable to it. If I come back to Norway and you come up to me and say, well, there's this girl that texts me and I don't know. That's your old story, my friend. That's a small problem. The size of your problems is the size of your life. If your problem is how to get a girl to respond to your text message, that's a small problem. That's as big as your life is going to get. If your problem is how am I going to go explore the South Pole, that's a bigger problem. You think the explorer would worry what a girl was saying to him? If your problem is how to pay your cable bill and your cell phone bill, how to do that kind of stuff, that's as big as your life is. That's the size of your life. If your problem is how do I go to Africa and help this village get fresh water, you think the guys that have that kind of a problem are thinking about their cable bill? That's a small problem. I don't have time for that. Ask bigger questions, guys. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. If you ask, well, how do I get the girl to respond to me? That's a small question. If you ask, how can I be the greatest, most dynamic, interesting man to women that I can possibly be? That's a great question. We're focusing all the little layered details. We're missing the big thing, the big thing. And my message is strong. It's a call to leadership. And if you step forward and say, this is me, then we're doing this together. It's a need in Norway. And I'm coming back because I'm traveling and I come back. And if I see you again, I'm holding you accountable. Okay? How did you hold the flame? You're carrying fire, gentlemen. Don't drop it. You're carrying fire. The village depends on you holding that fire. Don't you dare drop it. We're missing something that there's a reason. There's a reason that the angels in paintings are depicted. These are holy angels. They're depicted with a sword in their hand, a flaming sword. It's a sword of cutting and slaying and wounding. It's a sword of justice. It's a good thing to present yourself fully with that full masculine energy, which we're missing. We're all top heavy. We're great storytellers. We're great comedians. We know how to charm, but we're missing something strong. This is a lesson that I'm learning for me. It's what we're missing the most, our masculine edge, the strength of us being men and not apologizing for it. Never, ever, ever again. It's a beautiful thing. Imagine this. Keep that perspective, gentlemen. You have the weight of that legacy behind you, that DNA of champions in you. That's how I see you. Higher standard. I will call you always to a higher standard. I will not babysit you. I will not hold your hand. I will not answer your questions about how this girl said this. Small questions, gentlemen. Small questions. It's time to be leaders. Time to stand on the earth. Plant your feet on the ground. Plant your feet on the ground. You have the right. You have the obligation. You have the beauty of it. You have the right to talk to that girl. It's your job as a man. Yeah, you're nervous. That's okay. We all are. You're in your head thinking, well, I shouldn't wear this stupid shirt. That's okay. We all are. We're all thinking the same thing. This is the strength of what I'm talking about. It's like, I said it earlier, guys. You must renounce. You want change? You don't like your job? Quit your job. You're the average of the 6 people you hang around with the most. You're the average of those people. Think about the 6 people who are your friends. You're the average. Stop hanging around people that don't enlighten you. Hang around your heroes. Find them and hang around them. That's how you change your life. You want change? It's not going to come because you took another affirmation, because you wrote a little note here, because you read another book, because you took another seminar. You have to renounce everything. You have to change. Big changes are needed, gentlemen. Big changes. I have learned everything I know from women. I have never, ever read any books on relationships. I've never read He's Okay, She's Okay, Mars, Venus. I've never Dr. Phil stuff, Oprah stuff. I've never taken a workshop. I've never taken a seminar. I've never watched anybody's read any ebooks on relationships, nothing. I haven't watched anybody's DVDs. I haven't even seen my own DVDs. I've been selling DVDs for 7 years. I've never once seen them. Because there's something else to happen. There's bigger things to happen, guys. Something bigger. And you know, I've devoted my life to this message. Because I didn't have a message when I was 19, 20 years old. And I wish I did. I've done seminars where I charged $3,500. In the last 3-4 years, I charge nothing. Not because I have money, because I want people to hear what I have to say. I travel the world. In the last year, I've been in 15 to 16 different cities doing free talks. How does this sustain? I have no idea. You have to have faith in something. You have to believe your own thing. If I believe that if I believe that there's something strong to be said, then I have to go say it. I can't wait. I have this philosophy that I can't wait for money to show up because I got to go. I can't wait for success to show up because I got to go anyway. Success and money, you're going to have to find me because I'm going. I don't have time. We're always saying, well, if this happens, if I get that raise, if I pay... There's no more time, gentlemen. No more time. This is a call to action, and I will be back. I will be back. And I'll say, who's with me? Who's with me? Because I will be back, and I will never let you guys down. I will always be back for the men who are sincere and want to learn. You don't know anything, you're a little shy, that's okay. Are you sincere? Do you want to understand? Beautiful. You look at a guy like Johnny Soporno, he would talk to you for 3 days straight. Because he has a great devotion to your learning. 100% devoted to you learning something. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. I do most of my work for free. And I say most because I have an online university and it has to be paid for the company, the technology company that's doing it. Otherwise, I'd give that away for free too if I could. I'm writing a book right now, writing a book about beauty. I'm writing a book for women, about women. It's a conversation with women, and men can listen in on it because they'll learn a lot. I'm writing a book about beauty to women, to the beauty that I see. Because if I'm not a teacher, I'm not a guy that teaches guys about women. All I do is say, guys, can you see what I see over here? Because I see it. Can you see that too? Can you see with these eyes? Can you see the glory that is women over there? Women respond to that. Women raise in the presence of men who see them as beauty. Beauty needs a witness. That's your job. Women become beautiful around you. Not because they weren't beautiful before, but because you give them permission to shine. In the dance, you raise your hand, and there's none of this twirling nonsense. You raise your hand, you hold it, and you give her the space to be beautiful. It's not because you're doing this. You're giving her the space to be beautiful. Women will respond. When I was in Texas, we were actually working on the online university there. And the guys who were in the film crew, because we were doing some films, said, hey, we're going to go out to a strip club tonight, a dance club. would you like to go? And I had never, I'd been to a strip club maybe 6 or 7 years at the time. And my partner Hans, from Belgium, who's not here tonight, had never been to one in his life. We're like, naked girls, we've seen it before. And they said, come on, come on, come on. So we went. And I remember we were sitting there and the girls are all like, you know, dancing around and moving around through the tables and trying to get guys to buy private dances, right? So they're coming up to being all sweet and saying stuff like that. And I remember this one girl came up to me and she said, you know, she's talking to me and I said, listen, my dear, I know you're working, I understand, and I understand you're paying your rent and I fully respect that. I'm 100% on your side. But you will get no money from me. I just want to say that. You're not getting any money from me. So you should really like maybe the other tables would be better for you. She started talking to me and she sat down beside me. And within a half an hour, this girl told me everything about her life. She told me all of the hurt she's had from men since a child. She'd been molested, abandoned, betrayed by men. And she knows how to work the system. She knows how to manipulate men. She knows how to get money from men. She knows how to... And she told me that I could see it. And I'm talking to her and I'm listening to her. And I said, her name is Gabriella. I said, Gabriella, listen, I'm only in Texas for another month. And I may never see you again. I may never see you again. But understand, if I do see you, Gabriella, all of this hurts and all of the way you look at men and all of the betrayals and abandonments and mistrust, put it aside. I'm asking you with my voice to put it aside. This is what I want. Because I will see you with only a certain light. I will see you in a light of beauty. And if you come near me, you will feel very beautiful around me. I guarantee it. Because that's the only way I choose to see you. And I invite you to choose. And in fact, what I'm doing is, what I was doing is inviting her to a higher standard too. Because I'm going to see it in you in certain eyes. So you do it too. Outside of you and me, no problem. You mistrust men and, you know, don't like men, that's okay. But here, look in my eyes, girl, this is what I want from you. I would love this. And I may never see you again. It's okay too. But if I do, this is what I want. That girl came over to our house every day for the month that I was there. She brought in sundresses, so gloriously beautiful. She brought paintings that she had painted. She was a great painter. And put them in her house to beautify her house. She brought coffee because she was a coffee connoisseur, and we had no coffee maker, so she bought us one. She came out every day just to be part of that. And she said, no man has ever talked to me like that before. It's your job. Women will respond to you. Women are great reflectors of the way you see them. If you see women as jealous and conniving and manipulative and flaky, well, that's all you're going to see. Then you're right. But I call it out with my voice. This is what I want. This is what I'd love to see from you. I see you with these eyes, and this is how I want this. When I see you again, be like this, because I would like it. You know what they say? Okay, for you, I will. Because I'm asking for it. I'm stating this is what I want. If that makes any sense at all. I'm rambling, I know, but invitation. Just put invitation in the world, gentlemen. You have nothing to lose. You have the right to do that. Invitation. Women can respond however they respond. That's not your concern. Your concern is, am I doing my job as a man? Yes, I am. I'm good. I remember I was on the island of Curacao, and I did a seminar for men there, and a guy stood up, and he goes, well, I have to tell you something. I'm a virgin. I'm 33 years old or whatever, and I'm a virgin. So I got this big heavy thing hanging on me. I said, you know what the first thing I would do if I was a virgin, I was 33 years old? I would start announcing it to women. First thing I'd say on a date with a girl, you know what? I'm going to tell you something about me. I'm 33 years old and I have not been as dynamic and interesting as I want to be. I'm still a virgin. And I'm going to change it. Some woman is going to teach me to be the greatest lover. That's what's going to happen. I'm not saying her. Some woman's going to teach me to be a great lover. I'm going to change that part of my life. I've made a decision. Imagine that, the strength of saying that to a woman. There's power in that. I'm going to take a stand and I'm going to change it. Some woman is going to teach me how to be a great lover and become a student and become this great lover. I'm 33 and I have not been interesting and dynamic to this point. Imagine that. If a guy did that who was a virgin and he said that to a woman, he just did something as strong and masculine as his father did with a sword in his hand. It's still just the same strength. Saying, I'm a man and I'm going to change what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. What do I want is the only question you need to ask. Get up every morning. What do I want? It's the only thing. We think, well, that's selfishness. No, it isn't. It isn't. To ask what you want and only what you want and stay beholden to that is the greatest thing you can do as a man. It is the greatest gift you can give to others. We spend our lives making sure our parents are comfortable with their, my father wanted me to be an accountant, so stop making other people comfortable, including your parents. Ask what's needed for you. It's the greatest gift you can give to the world. There's a masculinity, a strength that comes from that. If you're faced with, I have this philosophy that if you're faced with two decisions in life, and you should be, two decisions in life, you can go this path or this path. Always take the path that will give you the best memories. That's it. Not the path that's going to be more financially rewarding. Not the path that your friends and family say, yeah, that's better for you. Not the most stable path. What will give you the best memories? When you're old, that's all you'll have, gentlemen. You will not remember the car you bought, the raise you got, the house you bought. I had a girlfriend, one of my first girlfriends, I saw her after 20 years. And I remember I was talking to her, and she was telling about her life, and I hadn't seen her for years. And she said she works at a convalescent home, a place where old people die. They go to die. They're about to die. And she said to me, every day I see somebody die, an old man die in his bed. And they're so alone. And she said, the only thing they ever say to me, they hold my hand as they're about to die that day, and they say, nothing is more important than your relationships. And I wish I would have concentrated on that. Your relationships are the only thing. You should spend all of your energy that you're trying to do in career and all this kind of stuff and making the best memories you can. That's it. That's how you should live your life. Make the best memories. That's all you're going to remember when you're old. Those old men dying. You know what she said? I would crawl in bed with some of those old men sometimes. They're so alone. They're dying that day, and they're going to die. And I would crawl in bed just to give them some kind of human comfort, human connection, because they're so alone. That's the only thing, guys. Concentrate, maximize your relationships. Your memories are the greatest thing. That's the only thing you have when you're old, and so make the best ones. There was a play done by Samuel Beckett, who wrote Waiting for Godot. Have you heard of this? He wrote another one that's a bit more obscure, and people don't know about it so much. It's called Krapp's Last Tape. And the play is this. Audience is out here in the dark. There's a table, and there's a light bulb hanging down over it, just a single light bulb. It's all dark. There's a cardboard box on the table, and a tape recorder. And this old man comes out. He's 75 years old, and he's like scratching himself, swearing and muttering. It's his birthday. It's his birthday. It's a one-man play. It's his birthday. And he sits down at the table, and he's muttering and he's swearing and looking at himself. And he looks in this box, and the box is full of audio tapes. Because every year since he was a young man, on his birthday, he recorded his thoughts. So he's got all these years of tapes. And he's about to record his thoughts again. So he's sitting there, he pulls out a tape, and he sees himself when he was 21 years old. And he takes the tape and he puts it in the machine, muttering to himself, like talking. And he pushes play, and he hears his young voice, 21 years old, say, wow, I've got these great dreams. And all this excitement and the innocence and naivete in his voice, all the ambition. And he listens to it, and he can barely listen to it because none of that worked. None of it worked out the way he thought. All of those dreams and ambitions, and he just met a girl, and I'm so excited for this girl I met. She's 20 years old, and he's listening to it. He can't bear to listen to it. He fast forwards and listens more, fast forwards and stops, fast forwards, stops, goes to this tape like this, and he pulls it out and he throws it aside. And then he pulls out another tape, and it's him when he's 31 years old. And he puts it in, he starts to hit play, and his voice has a bit more gravity to it now. And he hears his older voice, his 31-year voice, talking, say, boy, I just listened to my 21-year-old tape, and what a fool I was. But now I know. I'm 31. My career's starting to take off. I'm starting to get this relationship with this girl. It's starting to go. And he's listening to that, and he can't bear it either, because none of that works out. It all fell apart on him. And he can't bear it, so he's fast-forwarding, fast-forwarding. He listens to all these different tapes, muttering, listens to his ambitions, his dreams, all this stuff, all these years. And he gets to one tape, and he pushes play, and he hears his voice say this. I'm paraphrasing. It says this: "And then we lay down in the bottom of the boat, her and I. And the sun was shining, and the boat drifted and got caught in the reeds. And I laid there in the bottom of the boat with my hand on her breast, and the boat went up and down and side to side in the reeds." And he pushes stop. He rewinds it, and he listens to that again. He pushes stop. He rewinds it, and he listens to that again. And the curtain comes down. The only thing, gentlemen, you'll ever remember when you are old is those moments when you laid in the bottom of a boat with your hand on the girl's breast who loves you, who you love. It's the only thing there is. Everything else is vanity, as Ecclesiastes says. It's time. I'm going to wrap up here, but this is a call to action. The Bible says this, Laodicea. There's a verse in the Bible, you are lukewarm. You're neither hot nor cold. You're lukewarm. I will spew you out of my mouth. I wish, this is the God talking to the Israelites, I wish you were hot or cold. But you're not. You're lukewarm. And I will spew you out of my mouth. No more lukewarm, guys. It's time. That's my talk. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.